Well, all three US indices are in the green for a second consecutive day this week. In fact, the Dow and the S&P clocked the fourth consecutive day of gains on Tuesday. When we look at the Dow, it's up around 1% or so. The S&P 500 up around 1.25%, and the Nasdaq up around 1.84%. Now, the Dow and the S&P, of course, as I did mention, fourth day in a row of gains. But what's telling is these indices are up nearly 10% from their lows now, and that wasn't too far back either. So it's been a very good bounce for markets. And of course, one of those things, or one of the factors driving the market, is the fact that both Russia and Ukraine are again in reconciliatory talks. There is a talk of a possible ceasefire. And that will be a positive for markets. That will continue to be the key news which will drive markets even in the near term. So broadly, investors are positive at the moment. But what's one area of concern is that bond yields seem to have inverted, if not over a mid-term, but at least over the shorter term. And that is an indication of a possible recession coming through. So that's a fear. But the key will continue to be the jobs report coming out on Wednesday, again US time. So we'll have to wait for that to come out and see what the possible Fed response will be to that, which will then, of course, drive markets again. That will be probably the key news. Moving quickly on to Europe. Well, Europe is in the green as well. Most European markets are higher. The DAX was up around 2.8%. The FTSE was up around 0.9% or thereabouts. And the Stock 600 up around 1.75%. So again, good gains notched by all of the benchmark European indices. Moving quickly on to how Asia has opened. Asia is largely in the green. When we look at the Nikkei, it's probably the only index which is holding on to negative. It's down around 1% or so. All of the other indices, the Shanghai, Hang Seng, the Australian ASX, as well as the Kospi, all broadly in the green, with the Kospi up around 1/5%, the most tempered of the lot. The rest are up a good 3/4% to 1.25%. So a good gains being currently notched up by all these European indices. When we look at the SGX Nifty, it's up around 0.9% or thereabouts. So a good positive bias coming through. Even for Indian markets, we're expecting or hopeful that India will open in the green as well. When we look at commodity prices, oil's gone really nowhere. It's at around $105 a barrel. That's where it was yesterday. That's where we left it. When we look at gold, it's at around $1,928 an ounce. That's again pretty much where we left it. But as I did mention earlier, bond yields are in focus. In fact, bond yields have, the 10-year US bond yield has come off around 11 basis points, sharp fall over the last day or so. It's down to around 2.36% at the moment as we speak. So that will be a key focus area as well. Lastly, looking at currency and crypto, the US dollar too has tapered off along with bond yields and the US 10-year yield. It's down to around 98.25. We were at 99 yesterday. So it's a sharp fall when we're looking at the dollar index, and that will mean that people coming out of bonds and going into more risk heavier assets. That's currently the broad indication. When we look at Bitcoin and crypto, well, crypto is broadly in the red. However, very tempered red for crypto's standards. Bitcoin is down around 2% or so. It's at around the $47,000 mark.